Hello and welcome to Fashion Report Friday, the weekly video series trying to get you the absolute most MGB possible from the Mandeville Gold Saucer every Friday where judging begins. This is week 176 and the theme this time around is whatever the weather. The individual clues include ready for rain for your helm, ready for rain for your body, striding in stripes for your legs, and ready for rain for your feet. In this video, we'll have a 100 score and 80 with dies in the easiest 80 possible. So without further ado. Alright then, so this is what we had to put together for the 100, and it's going to upset a few people because we really don't have that many alternatives for 3 of these slots. So 3 out of the 4 here don't have alternatives as far as I can tell, and I certainly haven't seen anyone submit any ideas that could work for these instead. But as you can see, for the helm, I've got the rain hood, and for the chest, I've got the rain coat, and the boots are the rain boots. Now, these rain items are actually craftables. I'll have the recipes on screen for you, but there are no alternatives that I can find at a point of recording anyway, that would work and give you gold rating. So it's going to come down to you either having the rain set, having to buy the rain set and deal with people on the market board, or craft it yourself, or we're going to have to go on to other options later in the video. But yeah, sadly, I don't have any alternatives for you for those 3 slots. If you do have alternatives for those slots, feel free to leave comments down below and see if you have something that we haven't seen. And I looked on various websites, I looked at on Twitter, and nobody seems to have come up with anything yet, so it is what it is, sadly. For the legs, however, these are the striped cotton slops. These are obtainable from low-level city-state armor vendors such as Gwalter or Iron Thunder, as I went to, in lower Limsa Lominsa lower decks. Just over here, Disciple of Magic tab, 10 to 19 tab, and you'll find those for some small amount of gil. They are equipable by both genders in the game, all classes level 13 and above, so instantly these become the go-to item, one of the easiest items for gold. Alternatives to this slot, I mean, there's tons of them, but we'll mention a couple. We've got the striped velveteen slops, we have the Holy Rainbow Sarawell of fending, maiming, striking, scouting, aiming, casting, and healing, and we also have the Vigil Sarawell. There's lots of others that would work. Basically, very much the striped legs should work for gold for that slot, but those are the ones that we know work so far. But yeah, that's pretty much your 100. A little bit shorter than we would usually have, admittedly, but there's very little else I can do about that. Speaking of going to easier options, though, let's go and have a look at the dies. Hopefully, those are a little bit more manageable. Alright then, so this is the die result we got. We got an 80 score with these dies. I look a little bit like a clown at the moment, but that's what we have to put up with. So for your weapon, we have to have pure white die for the best in slot die. For your helm and body, we went with blood red. For your hands, they need to be canary yellow, another expensive die. Your legs need to be jet black, a very expensive die. And for your feet, blood red. So for the fact that we have a pure white, a jet black, and a canary yellow in that, I would say that this is just as annoying as the 100, at least definitely in terms of the cost of this, both either in real life money to get some of those dies, or obviously on the market board to get some of those. Or you can get lucky from getting them from your retainer or in a lockbox in Zadnor or something like that, but it's very low chance, and yeah, so you're most likely going to have to spend quite a bit of gil on that. So it's not the best solution in the world. However, we do have some good dies there that we could utilize in an easy 80, so let's move on straight to that. Alrighty then, so as you can see, our easy 80 is going to be a combination of a couple of things, but mostly those dies. We got a nice chunky 82 score here, and the way we did that, of course, is by having our helm dyed blood red, our chest dyed blood red, our feet dyed blood red, and then equipping those striped cotton slops from a low-level city-state armor vendor. These are incredibly easy to obtain. The 3 dies that I've used can also be obtained from NPCs in Limsa Lominsa, Old Gridania, Uldar, the Firmament, the Pillars, and Kagane from various NPCs, and will cost you the low price of 40 gil a pot. So essentially, that's worth 40 gil, that's worth 40 gil, that's worth 40 gil, and then it's the price of those striped cotton slops, as we know from the Disciple of Magic tab, 10 to 19 option on your low-level city-state armor vendor. And yeah, it's a pretty good setup, honestly. I think this is probably the best 80 I could have come up with. 3 dies that are easily obtainable and very easy to obtain legs that are equipable by everybody in the game, both genders, all classes level 13 and above. So that's the only limitation, being level 13 and above on any job. I think that's more than adequate of an easy 80. And I think that should suffice for this week. But let me know, have you got any other options that you've come up with? Any other more simpler, more straightforward easy 80s? Or is this probably one of the better ones you've seen? Let me know below. Thank you so much for watching this video. As usual, thank you to Kayako Star and the rest of the Reddit team who work on theorizing this every week. And of course, thank you to people on Twitter and around the world who obviously submit a lot of these things faster than most of us could ever imagine to. They're incredibly fast, especially the Japanese social media is just insane how quickly they can sum up exactly what's being used. Half of the time we're scratching our heads looking at die options and they've already figured it out. So there we go. Much love to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. If you're enjoying your weekend, be safe, have a good one, and if it's hot, have a nice barbecue. And I'll see you all next time. Much love.